Bryan,
this
can you
layout.
break it down for us real quick?
Yeah, my name is Bryan, and it's hard to say why I love Halloween every day. I like to get scared. I like to watch film. I like to dance. That's Halloween.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
See dead people.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's Johnny.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and you are listening to Talking Horror with Jamie,
And Nikisha?
where we talk about horror movies through the lens of human health, human behavior, and mental health. Happy Halloween. Forget I did that. Happy Halloween!
Happy
Halloween.
I'm so confused.
Bryan, your costume is so
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. I'm Nikisha for Halloween. Nikisha couldn't be with us this evening to record, so I will be taking her place. But we have a very special guest, which is, I believe, now a tradition to have him on in the month of October, our favorite time. Welcome back to the pod, Matthew Woods, HallowWoods, if you follow him on the social medias, and that is Norman.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
my dog in the background. Thank you for the fanfare, Norman.
Yeah, oh my god, so popular.
I'm so happy to be here and happy to be back on Talking Horror. You guys are my favorites.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We love having you here. And today on Halloween, we are talking Halloween H20 20 years later.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Mom, I'm really uncomfortable with you saying that
Well,
word.
then don't put me in the position, John. Do you know what day it is? Of all the days for you to pull this shit, what do you think you can do? Just wander around town? I don't ask you for very much. Just give me one
Mom,
day!
I've given you 17 years.
And I need you to be responsible. Do you know what that means? Responsible.
Don't talk to me about responsible,
I
Mom.
just need this one.
Fantastic. Before we get into all of that, welcome everybody. Matt, for people who have not heard you on previous episodes, mostly a lot of the Friday the 13th episodes, you've been a fantastic guest. You did the original Halloween with us. You've done, right? Did you do that one with us? You did all the Scream movies.
Yeah, we did a bunch of the Scream movies. I think we did the new Halloween movies, not the old one.
Oh, sure.
We did
You've been on so much. I love that. Yeah. I'll link all of Matt's older episodes in the description here. But Matt, tell us a little bit about what you're up to. If people don't know you, like what the dealio is.
So I'm an artist and illustrator. What the dealio is so 1998. I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah. I'm getting into the mindset
totally.
of I should have gotten a really bad haircut.
So I'm an artist and illustrator. A lot of my work centers around spooky things, Halloween. I show a lot of it on Instagram, which is at HallowWoods. I've just finished out a month of doing Inktober, where I illustrate little ghosts and auction them off every day for the month of October based off the Inktober prompts. I have sold out of calendars for the year.
You did?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm already sold out.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Oh my god, it's my favorite thing. We look at it every morning, be like, oh, whose anniversary is it today?
And otherwise, I just really love talking all things spooky with my friends.
Hell yeah. On Halloween, this is Halloween. And I would just when Matt and I lived closer together, I would attend his Monster Movie Mondays, and that's the first time I ever saw Trick or Treat at your
You're
house.
welcome.
And absolutely fell in love with Sam. And so I definitely think about you a lot around the holiday season, not just because of your love for all things scary, creepy, but you imparting a lot of your knowledge and love of horror movies on me, in addition to what Jamie and Nikisha have really done overhaul wise. But
I
yeah,
appreciate
cool.
that.
Welcome to the
Thank
pod.
you.
Welcome
Thank you. I
back.
like to think of myself as a little bit of a horror ambassador.
Yes, please do that. Um, I want to talk more about some things that you've done, but before we do that, just let's do some trigger warnings for Halloween H20. Jamie, what trigger warnings would you bring up when it comes to Halloween H20?
Sure thing. Thanks for asking. So this is in the Halloween chain, so it's a slasher film. So right off the bat, if you know that slashers are not for you, then this might be one to steer clear of. There's quite a few inside. Yeah, if you don't like that sound, if you don't like insides on the outside, there's a variety of that, including like throats being cut, like teenagers. I mean, that's kind of historically been the thing, but yeah, just young people are always at risk. I mean, everyone of every age is at risk. But given that it takes place in a boarding school, lots of young people, especially, PTSD, heavy alcohol use, gun use, lots of stabbing.
Yeah.
Just loads of stabbing. Questionable upper body strength when he like comes down, just holds one arm. That bothers me so much. I cannot express how much it
Michael's
bothers
been
me.
working out.
Yeah, if you've been in
Just
prison
wild.
that long, my assumption is you're doing pull-ups.
Um,
That's what media has taught me.
Car accidents,
Yeah.
decapitation, yeah, lots of stabbing. Does anyone get killed? Like, does anyone other than the beheading get killed with the axe? I forget.
No, I think it's just
Is
that
that the
one.
only time?
No, I counted there are 6 kills in this. It's the 3 at the very beginning. So it's hockey skate in the head. It's the woman getting her throat slashed, and I forget what happens to the other
I
friend.
think his body just falls on her. And I think it's undetermined death.
Oh yeah.
Just already dead.
Yeah. Then you have the 2 lovebirds. You have the kid from Jumanji and the woman from She's All That, who die by being stabbed. And then you have the stabbing of Alan Arkin's character. Then you have LL Cool J getting shot, but he's not really dead. And then Michael at the end. I think that's only 6 killings in this movie, right? And then Bad Haircut gets stabbed in the leg, saving Charlie.
Bad haircut.
Trigger warning:
God.
baby bangs.
Oh yeah, baby bangs. Oh, romance novels.
Romance novels.
Novice romance novels. Yeah. Yes. And alcohol. You said alcohol use, I think. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Before we get in, not nice. Before we get into Halloween Wet,
Matt, I saw you put that up, and I did not understand what you meant. Someone had to be like H2O, Matt. H2O. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Before we get into the movie, just a couple things. Hi YouTube. We're on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. We're also on social media wherever you are. Really just TikTok and Instagram at Talk Horror Pod. You can also on there we're doing all, especially this October. You can go back and see all the movies we reviewed, all of that stuff. We talked about Good Boy there. He's the goodest boy. A lot of other stuff there as well. But I did want to bring up, we've been reading off some of our fantastic listeners' comments. We would love for you to review us on these sites. not only is it great for the algorithm, it helps our ego. We like to read them. But this one is from Stevie. Stevie wrote on Spotify, "I like the way you break it down." Thank you, Stevie. That actually meant a lot to us.
Wow.
We worked hard on this, on
Bryan,
this
can you break
layout.
it down for us real quick?
Yeah, my name is Bryan, and it's hard to say why I love Halloween every day. I like to get scared. I like to watch film. I like to dance. That's Halloween.
Wow. what an ending.
Thank you.
Oh.
But thank you, Stevie, for that. But Matt, I have one question for you before we start talking about H2O. You went to Midsummer Scream a couple of months ago, and I know that we texted about it a little bit, but I'd love to hear about your experience if you have like a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Run that down.
So I have been to Midsummer Scream, is the biggest Halloween convention in the world. It happens in Long Beach, California every summer, like midsummer about, it's in the name, midsummer about like July, August. And I had been an attendee several times and had a great time, and had always wanted to vend. And so this was my first year being a vendor. And wow,
Cool.
Was it a lot of work and a different experience. But I started every day with a huge cup of coffee and a little bit of a cry because I had, like, it felt so rewarding and fulfilling. Everybody there is so great. Even like I did great with like sales and stuff like that, which was the whole point. But like meeting new people, making connections, chit-chatting with other people that have like the deep love for Halloween and horror that I have is like such a lovely thing. To be in a huge room of like-minded individuals I would highly recommend it to anybody.
Cool. That's awesome. That's on my list. We really want
you guys got to come.
That.
Bryan talks about it all the
Please
time.
I do. The two things I really want to do, and I'm just putting it out into the world, is I want to go to Midsummer Scream, and I really want to go to Fantastic Fest.
Fantastic Fest looks so cool.
That's what I want to go to Fantastic Fest. I want to see 30 movies in a week. Like that's what I want my eyes to fall out on the plane ride home.
Trigger warning. I damage.
Trigger warning. Yes. And then one last question. Anything you've watched recently that you've liked, that you didn't like, that you wanted to share with the people?
Yes. So we recently watched Night of the Reaper on Shudder.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
I really liked that. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
I didn't expect much of it and was like, oh, that was fun.
No. It subverts your expectations of what an 80s horror movie copycat is trying to be. And I thought I liked it too. Yeah, cool.
On the flip side, I watched VHS Halloween and I did not like it.
Oh.
I don't.
What
I just feel like they went for like
you?
gore over substance. I felt like a lot of the plot lines were a little flimsy and didn't support the kind of violence that they were presenting.
Okay. Totally fair.
I loved.
Did you have a favorite?
Yeah, the home haunt one. I loved the home haunt one, the last one. Easily my favorite.
Yes.
Which I find the VHS often puts like one of the best ones last.
Yeah, a lot of the times for sure. Yeah, we enjoyed it overall, definitely. So I definitely we can talk about that further for sure.
Another thing is that it's not a movie, but I just saw John Carpenter live.
What do you mean?
Have you not heard this? He tours, and he's only playing New York and Los Angeles this season, or has played by this time. But he plays the soundtracks to his movies live on stage, and they project clips from the movie behind him. So it's like this big music venue atmosphere with like little old John Carpenter like do 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 on his synthesizer. It's so awesome.
That's incredible. What space did he play in?
It's a place called the Knockdown Center, which I'd never been to before, which I guess is like a big like EDM like dance party venue. It was so cool. It was like this old warehouse, and it was all like blood red lighting. It felt like the blood sprinkler should go off at any moment. It was super cool.
Yeah.
It was great for the season.
That's awesome. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. Let's get right into Halloween H20. But of course, we have a guest today. So I don't have to do the plot summary.
What's the plot?
Okay. Matt,
I knew this was coming.
you have 1 minute, 2 minutes, excuse me, sorry, 2 minutes. As I open my calculator by accident, you have 2 minutes to tell us the plot of Halloween H20. Give it to us, Matt, starting now.
All right, so it's been 20 years since the events of Halloween 1 and 2. Nurse Marion returns home, and her house has been broken into. She enlists the neighbor boys to help her investigate what's going on. They find that her office has been ransacked. Someone has stolen the files on Laurie Strode. The boys get killed. She gets her throat slashed. Michael steals her car, or someone steals her car, and drives off into the night. We cut to Hillcrest Academy, which is in California somewhere, fictional California somewhere. Laurie Strode is now a headmistress under the name of Miss Tate. She faked her death, and she is a sad, beige headmistress with lots of nightmares. Her son, who has a wild haircut, wants to go camping at Yosemite, and he is not allowed. And so all of his friends decide they're going to hunker down and have a Halloween party at the school instead of going camping. All these things collide in a little bit of an off-campus lunch where he gets in trouble from his mom, who's heavily drinking Chardonnay and talking to her guidance counselor / therapist boyfriend about her trauma, as Jamie Lee Curtis would say it. LL Cool J gets in trouble for letting them out. Michael Myers gets back into campus. Hilarity starts to ensue as the buses leave. The Halloween party begins. Jamie Lee Curtis gets a gun from under her pillow. And Michael Myers kills 2 of John's friends, goes after them. Laurie Strode gets them out safely, but then decides that she's going to go back for Michael, grabs the axe, and becomes the stalker. There's a little bit of a cat and mouse back and forth. A lot of stabbing happens. People die. She gets stopped by a not dead LL Cool J. Oh, yeah, he got shot earlier.
Right.
And they load Michael into an ambulance. She steals the ambulance. Intentionally gets in a car accident, throwing him through the windshield. He gets pinned between a trunk and the car. And then in the final moment, she cuts his head off. Fade to black.
And that's the plot.
H20, baby.
Did I do it?
Great
in
job.
under a minute? No, I didn't think so.
but we got there. Halloween H20 was directed by Steve Miner. You might know Steve Miner for doing Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, House, Warlock, Lake Placid, Day of the Dead, stuff like that. Pretty prolific in terms of his horror contributions. We also, obviously, it also stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Adam Arkin, Michelle Williams, Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, Adam Hanbird, Janet Leigh, Josh Hartnett, LL Cool J, and a very young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Cool. Great. So we're gonna. I don't think, Matt, you've been a part of this when we do our news segment, which is Trick
I haven't.
Treat.
Treat.
Where we go around and just make sure that what everyone thought about it. So Trick, did this movie trick you? It's bad. I didn't like it. Or I don't really know how I feel about it. Or Treat. Whoa, this is like my favorite candy on Halloween night. So Matt, you essentially chose this movie.
I did.
What trick or treat? What do you
This
got for us?
is definitely a treat for me. I have a deep nostalgia for it. I watched it regularly when I was in high school, and even though it is not the finest piece of cinema, it is still beloved to me.
Excellent, Jamie.
This isn't for me. I don't have any nostalgia for this one. Like I watched 4, 5, 6 over and over and over again, and then I just kind of stopped beyond. Like I didn't watch beyond that. So yeah, I have no deeper connection to this other than recently watching it, and it was fine.
Yeah. I think this is a treat for me. And I think this is a treat for me because I only saw this for the first time last year.
Whoa.
Last year, Jamie and I did a Halloween franchise of Halloween chain binge where we watched 4, 5, 6, this one, Resurrection, and we did those two timelines. And just for everyone listening, we H2O is the timeline. It's called the H2O timeline, I guess. It's Halloween 2. It ignores 4, 5, and 6 and 3. Obviously, 3 is its own timeline and goes straight to this. So Michael is still her brother. The reveal we get in Halloween 2, but Laurie's fate in 4, 5, and 6 is ignored. And as Matt described, this is where we hop onto this train. And the sequel to this is it's a Halloween Resurrection.
Oh yeah,
which is
Trick or Treat, motherfucker.
Yeah, which is a unique film, which retcons this one. But also, this movie is also sometimes wrongly, but sometimes attributed as like the first legacy sequel, a horror legacy sequel. I would argue that Psycho 2 is the first like real legacy sequel for a horror movie. Then you have stuff like The Color of Money, like for non-horror movies. So, but this is a legacy sequel of like one of the first for sure that like really made a big bang, if you will, in the box office and stuff like that, and got excitement. But anyway, let's move straight on to likes and gripes. Nikisha, we miss you. Likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
Since you are the guest and you picked this moving film, why don't you start with your likes and gripes?
I'll start with likes. My first like right off the top is that this movie is so of the time. It is like so painfully 1998 in the best and worst ways. Like, this came out in the I was looking up stuff about this earlier, that someone referred to this time period of horror movies as the copycat era, and that
interesting,
like Scream, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Valentine, but the list goes on and on and on. But this is of that like late 90s, early 2000s teen, like slick teen slasher style, where they're like all a little bit the same movie, give or take.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We recently watched Urban Legend Final Cut.
Oof.
Which is from a little bit after that time period, but like, yeah, all these movies feel exactly the same.
They're all more or
Cherry
less.
Falls.
And some of them are like, many of them are written by the same people. Like Kevin Williamson had his thumbprint on so many of these things, including this movie.
Yeah. That tracks.
Yeah, he did the outline for it, and his original outline included 4, 5, and 6 to try and make the tie in all the the whole franchise. And they eventually did away with that and kind of did the Splinter timeline thing where they ignored the middle ones. But that's why in this she says she faked her death. It's because she was supposed to be dead in 4, 5, and 6, but a fake death would have retconned all of that.
Okay.
I love the references in this movie. They are pretty heavy-handed with other horror movies that they chat back to. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the beginning is wearing the hockey mask when the nurse bumps into him,
Mhm.
just like Friday the 13th joke. There's a scarecrow on her porch that is wearing a like Hellraiser Cenobite mask. The girls are watching Scream 2 in their dorm room, just like in Scream they're watching Halloween. Norma, who's played by Janet Leigh, is easily my favorite reference of this whole thing.
Oh, by far. Like that's maybe the best part of the whole movie for meta purposes.
No question.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah. She's like, I'm just the secretary, but let me be your mama.
Yeah, like when she says, can I be maternal for a moment? Like that's Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. Janet Leigh is Jamie Lee Curtis's mother speaking to her daughter from one horror franchise Scream Queen to another is like, so it makes my heart swoon. I love it.
And I think they play some of the Psycho music in the score.
Yes, they do. As she turns to walk away to the car from Psycho that her character drove in Psycho, they play a little bit of Bernard Herrmann from the Psycho suite.
Oh,
it's so good. They even make jokes about like in the earlier before she even makes her appearance that like, oh, I bet she'll end up like running some old motel on the side of the highway somewhere in nowhere, California or something like that.
Totally. That's so funny.
And when they bump into each other, there's even like a slight Rocky Horror joke in there. When she runs into Janet Leigh, she looks at her and goes, "Damn it," and then stops herself before saying something else.
Oh,
she's about to say, "Damn it, Janet."
Yeah. Yes.
That's funny.
I also love how much they pay homage to the past Halloween movies. Like the Nurse Marion in the beginning is Nancy Stevens. She played the nurse in Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. She's like the OG, which I think was actually Jamie Lee Curtis's idea. She wanted this to be like a big reunion of like cast and crew.
That feels very, in the best way, feels very Jamie Lee Curtis. She seems like a very inclusive person who wants to create like a very like, nice, fun set. Because I know historically she does not like horror movies, like watching them.
And I know that like she had pulled John Carpenter in. He was originally attached to this to direct, but wanted a 3-picture deal with Dimension for it, and the Weinsteins did not want to do that. So it never happened. He left.
Huh. Interesting.
Like there's a lot of lines in it that they reference. Like at one point, Norma says to Laurie, like, "Oh, it's Halloween. I guess everybody's entitled to one good scare." And she just like shrugs it off and is like, "Yeah, I guess." And like she yells at her kids, "Do as I say," which is something she yells at the kids she's babysitting in the first one. At the end, when she tells them to drive down to the Beckers in the first movie, she says, "Drive down to the Mackenzies." Oh no, that's Mackenzie's is Scream. I'm getting my references crossed. In Scream, when Drew Barrymore dies, he tells his wife to drive down to the Mackenzies, which are, I think, the neighbors in Halloween. So, and then the Beckers is Casey Becker. It is the family that Drew Barrymore.
It's the reverse. Okay,
so they flip it. She says, "Drive down to the Beckers," which is a direct reference to Scream.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like she gets her arm cut in the same place that she has the scar from the first movie. And she like comes upon the closet and is like, "Fuck," when she thinks she's going to have to hide in the closet again. And lo and behold, it's actually a trap that she sets for him because she knows he's going to fall for it, thinking the same thing she did. And so like all of those like kind of like updated references back and forth, like really, it's like an if you know, you know, smirk to like the fans of the genre. So all of those definitely make me happy. And I love that they continue the tradition of Michael Myers being a murder artist, and that he always stages his like killed
Yes.
people in creative ways, as hokey as they may be. They have continued it throughout the whole franchise, and I appreciate that it's still here.
He's the original he's the original like serial killer in movies before Hannibal, like putting them all in, like,
yeah, totally.
or whatever it is.
My gripes are Josh Hartnett's bangs.
Yeah, of course. But the best part is that when he's yelling at his mom in town, he's standing in front of a barber shop.
And also, when LL Cool J lets him out of campus, he goes, "Yeah, comb your hair."
Yeah.
I saw a thing somewhere floating around the internet that it's pretty obvious that Josh Hartnett and Courtney Cox had the same hairstylist for this movie and Scream 3, and it was baby bangs for everybody.
Yeah,
Another gripe is Michelle Williams' eyebrows and also Michael Myers' eyebrows that are the same eyebrows.
That's wild. I kind of liked the eyebrows on Michelle Williams. It's like
It's
of
so
that
of the
time.
yes.
And as a young girl whose mom would not allow her to tweeze her eyebrows, I like loved it, but I'm also very grateful that I have my eyebrows intact. But I'm like, yeah, that was like so hot back then.
It was. That was like all of my high school classmates had eyebrows like that. Who needs eyebrows?
Mm-hmm.
It's 1998.
Yeah, the world's gonna end at the
Yeah, exactly.
So.
The Y2K bug is coming for us all.
Yeah.
Another gripe is the mask. Like the Michael Myers mask in this one is
Sure.
just so bad, and you can see his eyes so clearly through it. And it doesn't make him feel like a monster. It makes him feel like a stunt man with a mask on, which is like not it.
It's very weird and flimsy.
Yeah.
It
kind of boggles my mind how many Halloween movies botch the mask when that is like the thing. You know, like there's like that's the thing. Like that's your hook. That's the reason people put their butts in their seats. Like if the new Halloween trilogy did anything right, like the mask is really cool in those.
It is really cool
and scary. The Michael design in the new ones is great, regardless of what you think of those films.
Totally. And I love that over the course of the 3 movies, it continues to degrade. Like the more damage that is done to him, the worse the mask looks, the creepier the mask looks. It's like burned and sizzled and cut. And this one is just like shiny and glossy and flimsy, and those eyebrows are tweezed and... this movie is really heavy in exposition too. It's like they knew that a whole bunch of people who had never seen a Halloween movie were going to go watch it, and they were like, let us catch you up on what's happened for the last 20 years. And so it takes a long time of like talking about what's happened before things start to happen.
Definitely.
My biggest gripe is that half of the music in this movie is from Scream.
Wait, what do you mean?
So John Ottman is the composer for this. And in post-production, when the Weinsteins saw it, they hated the music that he had written. So they took one of their existing properties, Scream, and they inserted a bunch of the music from that movie into this movie. And it just doesn't fit. It's like a lot of chaotic violins and tinkling pianos. And it is
I didn't even
not the slow, droning dun, 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 that of the like constant driving Michael Myers. It is like...
That's so interesting because the pacing of this one, like that copycat era that you say, it be like... The music has a lot to do with the pacing of this for sure. Yeah, that's really
a lot of the classic like Halloween John Carpenter sound is totally absent from this movie. We get a few moments where they do the like do 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 a lot, but only a few moments. It's mostly other stuff. So much
Yeah.
so that Marco Beltrami, who was the composer for Scream, is credited as the composer for this, as well as John Ottman.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, did any of Ottman's score make the final
Yes.
cut?
Some of it did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it is. I would wager that it's probably like 2/3, 1/3. Like a third of it is from Scream, which is a lot to cut out of a movie. Something else that was like contemporary and also iconic sounding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's my last gripe.
Cool. Jamie.
Man, I don't know how to follow Matt. I mean, yeah, this movie is like very quintessential, like late 90s. And for that, I have like an appreciation for it because, you know, you just can't make movies like that anymore. For a variety of reasons, most of which are good. But yeah, like, I don't know. There's something really funny about like this reflection of all of these actors who like where their careers have taken them. And I know obviously that's different from like when you're watching it in the moment, but I don't have that context. So this is all I got. So watching like baby Josh Hartnett, I think this was his first movie
Introducing
role.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, baby with the baby bangs. I mean, I think that he does a good job at being like the annoyed teenager who like doesn't want to listen to their parents. And then on top of that, the like kind of stifled upbringing because there is this like trauma that keeps resurfacing. I like there's a part of that does feel kind of realistic. So, you know, I'm willing to give some credit to that. That being said, like the resistance to the point of like just flat out like lying to his mom and not going on the trip. Like, I don't know if I fully believe that. Maybe that's just me because I was like a goody two shoes and I did not do bad things when I was a kid because I was so afraid of like what the consequences would be. And in this case, the consequences are like a murderous, you know, uncle coming after you. So at least his uncle,
Right.
you know, family tree, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think there's a lot of gripes just about like, again, the kind of movie that this is. But I think one of my biggest gripes is really the confusing relationship between Laurie Strode and like her pseudo boyfriend psychiatrist. Like it's, as a therapist, it definitely is a conflict of interest to be like infusing the professional side of like being a therapist or being a mental health professional into your personal relationship dynamics. And it is not clear of like how they met. Like, did they meet working there and then start dating? And then also he was like, let me, you know, throw in some psychoanalysis. It's like, it's very murky and unclear, but like from an ethical standpoint, it really bothers me that that's like the weird dynamic that they have. And that he kind of like doesn't fully believe her until like it's too late for him, which like will always annoy me forever. That is a trope that like I truly can't stand. But yeah, I find like that really bothered me because I just feel like it reinforces a lot of, you know, unethical, I mean, unfortunately real and also like unrealistic expectations of like relationships with therapists and mental health providers and things like that. So not a big fan of that.
Does he go on the bad therapist list?
He goes on like the questionable therapist list. I mean, certainly like I think there's a difference between like unethical therapists in movies versus like flat out bad, evil therapists in movies, of which like that seems to be way more That seems to be the case more often in movies. Less just like purely, questionable ethics going on.
Yeah, like he's not getting in over Loomis. Like Loomis is like it should
Yeah.
be like getting in is like getting the Loomis Award. Like at every year where we induct people.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, that's
We should
so
name it something. That's
good.
so good. The Loomis Award.
The Loomis
He's not even the
Award.
worst one, in my opinion.
No, but he's the.
But
I
like
think he's the, most
he's the
iconic.
name. Yeah, that's a good standout name.
Totally. Actually, one of the worst ones might be the therapist from the New Blood that we watched with you, Matt. The
Oh
one,
my God.
in
Yeah.
Oh.
14th part.
With the
Yes.
Carrie?
Yeah.
the
Carrie
one.
versus
Yeah.
Jason.
He's definitely
Yeah,
on
he's
that
really
list.
bad.
I mean,
might be
he's
one of the
abusing
worst, but
her for his own gain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Ugh, creep. I also think this is my last thing. My other big gripe with this movie, and this is also like me understanding that, with regard to like post-traumatic stress disorder and how people are impacted by trauma, there is no one set way to present yourself if you've experienced trauma. But there's something that I really dislike about Laurie Strode's character, like her representation in this movie. And I'm going to spoil my suggestion because I just feel like, in contrast to Halloween 2018, I feel like that's the traumatized Laurie Strode that this movie wishes she was. Because yes, you get this character arc, but it's not in the way that I like. I like the character arc in 2018 more because it's like she has isolated herself to this point of like her family has fully disengaged from her because they have now experienced this trauma as a result of her closing herself off to the world and like forcing her daughter to learn survival skills and all of that stuff, and then has to like find a way to reconnect with her family despite those circumstances. In this one, she's like so timid and like, and then all of a sudden she's like, ugh, I'm brave now. And like, I don't know, there's just something about it that really makes me feel uncomfortable, but not in like a, I don't know, like a personal values thing, I feel like a representation of trauma, or even more so like what they're trying to say about like the final girl in this movie. It just bothers me. I wish there was a better representation of Laurie in this one. I just feel like she's so timid. And then you also get the like heavy alcohol use, but I also feel like those two things are really, they feel disconnected just in the way that she's playing it, because it also makes sense that like, she's drinking heavily as a survivor of trauma because, one of the characteristics of like formally being diagnosed with PTSD is this like marked avoidance of, anything that would remind you of the trauma. And avoidance can mean like substance use. And so for her, I think it makes a lot of sense that she might lean more heavily on alcohol as a way to both cope with the like ongoing stress that she's experiencing, but also as a way to like not have to think about the stress and like numb herself from, the weight that she's been carrying with her all this time. So that part made more sense than like everything else she was doing. So that's just my feeling. And maybe I wouldn't feel that way if 2018 didn't exist and we got like this more like, this version of Laurie who's like, yes, still fearful, but in a way where she has like fully moved in the opposite direction and it's all about self-preservation. And there's just something about that I find more compelling personally. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else like my read on it really is, but there's just something that like didn't really do it for me in this one. And those are really my like biggest gripes.
Sure, that's totally fair.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis has been interested in seeing how the events of the first movie have manifested in this character, and in this iteration didn't get what the like kind of resolution she wanted. And so 2018 had better writers and a more realistic interpretation of what it might be like. And so I think like totally what you're saying is that like it's no surprise that 2018 is a much better representation with a lot of they weren't trying to make it as like teen, hip, and slick. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it like more grounded, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because it feels like there's a lot of restraint happening in this one. And I imagine that, like, based on who had, their hands in this movie, that like that probably was not nearly as interesting to them. And like, who is the audience that they are trying to make this movie for? I don't think that they would. Maybe they thought that people just wouldn't care about that. And maybe now in like, the late aughts that like there is more interest in, the realities of we've seen hundreds of Halloween movies. Like, how are people actually going to be reacting and feeling now that we're like in this, late stage contemporary age of like horror movies, when like we've seen all the slashers over and over again? What's the impact that it's having on individuals and also this community that like, it's not just Laurie Strode. It's like her within this whole space. She's working at a school, and like, which also seems incredibly risky and wild. Like, what do you mean you're the headmistress at a school for young people? And like, even though you killed yourself off, you're still always on edge that he'll come back. Like, are you putting an entire student body at risk? That's wild.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm more interested in the faking of the death and the paperwork and like the background checks, like to get this job. Like, that's
how the heck she get this job?
I want that story. Like, forget about Michael. I want the logistics of how we get here.
Totally.
Yeah. It also, like, that part reminds me a little bit of the version of like, which Scream is it where she's like off the grid?
3.
Yeah,
she
like
lives in the mountains.
Like that also kind of feels like that's the version of Laurie that like if she faked her own death and like that's where she would go, is like off the grid. Like she's not gonna like reinvent herself. Yeah, it just is like it there's too many things that feel very like creating conflict with one another in terms of the story that just it seems weird and nonsensical. I'm really glad we're breaking this down in this way. Thank you for thank you for talking it out with me.
To your point, Bryan, her character's name is Laurie Strode, but if she's Michael Myers' sister, when did the family change their name from Myers to Strode before she was born? And then when she fakes her death, she becomes Tate. So her name has been changed legally twice, theoretically.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's. I don't know. I guess that they changed my assumption is they changed their name to Strode. Maybe someone got remarried. Maybe they changed the name to Strode to just like hide from the newspaper article. I know. Yeah. She's had to do a lot
of paperwork. It's got to be a lot of paperwork to fake your own death.
Yeah, and like illegal. Like, we don't talk about, you can't fake your own, like, that's illegal, like, unless
That's illegal.
So, what would be interesting is,
tell me,
I would be very interested. I think this movie is missing 2 FBI agents who know that she's in, like, a witness protection thing, and, like, they need to be killed at some point in this. Like, I know what they're trying to do with like the opening, with like that's kind of like the protection, like Loomis was protecting her or whatever it is. But like, I'm looking for like the 2, clunky, weird, FBI agents, where one's like really into the one's like, nothing's gonna happen. Let's eat this donut in the car. Like that type of a thing. I was definitely missing that, like the FBI being like, oh no, they found her, like that.
I did read that Kevin Williamson's original treatment included 2 FBI agents that were looking for Michael Myers. It also included a magician who they suspected of doing the killing.
That's wild.
I don't know. I don't know much more than that.
Also, apparently this movie had different endings, possibly.
Hmm.
A
There's
not
an
beheading
alternate
ending?
Yeah, I think
Hmm.
I think it still ended with a. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it ended. Jamie Lee Curtis recently said or something. I don't know, but it ended with there potentially being the final showdown in a mask factory. To, oh no, that's Halloween Ends. Never mind.
Those are the new ones.
End of Halloween Ends. They had like 4 different types of endings, and they ended up going with the one they went with. But one was supposed to be in a mask factory that was producing Michael Myers masks to just hammer home the idea that like we are all evil. The evil doesn't come from us. The mask is just a mask. The evil does come from us or whatever. Anyway, sorry.
Evil Dies Tonight.
I got confused. There's just so Evil Dies Tonight. There's just so much Michael Myers.
Anyway, those are all my things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
These are my likes. The Jumanji kid, that was cool. I love
The horny Jumanji kid.
Yes. Love a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I actually think that the cold open is real fun.
Agreed.
And then the catching up on everything credits is perfect. But then we get like exposition dreams and all that, like you had said. They just like really just like, no, get on the same page with us. We're going to spend 20 minutes on it. The haircut, of course. I think a school trip to Yosemite, 1, sounds really nice. And 2, doesn't feel like the kind of trip that you'd say like no to. Like that you'd like. It's not like they're going to like, I don't know. To me, I understand that the idea was that they need to get everybody off of campus. So like that was a kind of a school trip. But it would have made more sense if he was like, I'm going to follow this band around the country. You know, like for the summer or something.
I'm going to
like
follow
that.
Creed around the country.
Yeah, like, wow, I'm following Nickelback. Yeah, I want to talk. I maybe we'll get to it in brains, but I want to talk about that scene where she's just like, you know, like I've tried everything. Like trauma won't get me anywhere. Like sometimes you can't fix trauma. She also has a real rap voice in my head. Mr. Sandman is on the radio a lot in this town. Like, I don't know what that DJ is doing. Like, he loves Mr. Sandman. So, like, I guess whatever.
Was that the closest they could get to like a song that's called like The Boogeyman?
Yeah, basically.
Because that doesn't seem to exist.
No. I did. Yeah. What if they changed the lyrics? Like, Mr. Boogeyman. I found it very distracting that the mother and daughter in the bathroom was driving like a 1940s jalopy. Like that was so weird to me. I was like, did Michael Myers just go through time?
It's like the car from
like,
Jeepers Creepers.
Like, yes, it was like a 1940s station wagon, like when Ford like first invented like the car in like the turn of the century. Like it just like looks. It just was very weird. That was a weird choice.
That like in 2018 when Michael Myers kills the podcasters, I feel like that scene in the stressed out bathroom is a reference to this movie.
I thought about that scene like a lot during this scene, but then jalopy took me away. But I did think about this scene a lot. This movie is charming. I don't know why. I think it's just my love of this. A lot. I say this a lot on this podcast, but people love 80s horror movies. I don't. They're just not for me. And I know, Matt, you love them.
I do.
They're just not. They're not for me, and that's okay. I don't have nostalgia for them. These are the movies that I have nostalgia for. The early 2000s, late 1990s, the copycat movies. Like, I love this shit. We just recently watched Cherry Falls for the first time. It was insane.
I've never seen that. I heard it's terrible.
I just like.
Oh my god, it's wild.
But terrible in the good way.
You should watch it though.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Got it.
It's
perfect.
It's wild.
It's kombucha meme girl.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, the one where it's like kombucha meme girl. Wow.
She's like a podcast and is very popular now. Not like Hawk Tua, who tried to steal.
Cherry Falls has Brittany Murphy in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like that one. What we watched recently? We watched like The Faculty and 30 Days of Night. I mean, I guess a lot of Josh Hartnett in there.
I was like, there's a theme.
Such a
Yeah.
fanboy.
We watched Cursed.
I
all
love
that
Cursed.
stuff. Just
Terrible.
like,
So
right
good.
in the pocket. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I find this movie charming. This is like my pocket. This is my nostalgia pocket. This movie has my favorite type of scene, my favorite type of trope ever. Teaching the themes of the movie in a classroom setting. I love these scenes. They're so awful and wonderful. She's like, we're talking about Frankenstein today, but we're talking about confronting monsters and your fear of those monsters. And I'm like, oh my God, I live for these scenes. I love seeing what the writer picks. It's like the easiest way to phone something in. Oh, it's so good.
When that scene happened, Alex paused it and was like, oh no, not your own bullshit getting fed to you by your students.
Oh yes, that's my. Oh yes, like eat your own dog food. I love it. Do we like the kills in this
No.
movie? Okay.
Yeah, they're super fine.
Yeah. And I also think this movie sets expectations at a good place with like, cool, there's a ice skate in his head. Like, we're going to get some interesting ones. And then it's just like very straight down the line. And
it's like, one. I don't think they know how a dumbwaiter works.
No, they definitely don't know the physics of a dumbwaiter. If anything, a dumb waiter wrote this. So, this is weird. I remember this movie being more. I know I only watched it a year ago, but it felt underwhelming this time through. Again, part of my like of this movie is that we had just watched 4, 5, and 6. Then we watched this one. I was like, oh, one, this is a good sequel in the context of all of these. And I do not like Halloween 2. I don't like Halloween 3. I had a blast watching 4, 5, and 6 because my expectations were that these were garbage, and they were not. They were fun. I had a great time watching those. And then we watched this one. I was like, cool, it's nice to get back to Laurie, and like, this is fun. It falls into that nostalgia pocket. This time, it felt so light. Like, the kills were underwhelming. Michael gets there very quickly. Like, I don't know. I thought like there was like a whole nother act in this where like they're chasing each other. Maybe I created that in my own head, but it all happens at the school very quickly.
This movie is a tight 86 minutes.
Yeah. I remember this being more like maybe even going to like not 120, but like
at the end we were just like, wait, is this really it? And then and then the credits roll.
And it ended. And that's a personal expectation, but it just felt like very, I don't know. There was no weight to it for being this legacy sequel 20 years later. There was no weight to this movie in some ways. And I know that this is an era of kind of like fluff horror and like slashers in some ways. Like there's a lot of camp to it, but I don't know. That's just a me thing. I don't know if the movie. Yeah, so those are my kind of like my likes and
is it because
I still find
in the past, like when you watch them all in a row, it is a welcome like tonal shift from the previous ones that you watched? Like if you're getting out of the 80s and like the Paul Rudd one is like early 90s and it's like fever dream, weird, culty, and then you switch to something that's like a lot more usual.
Yeah, I definitely think that had a lot to do with it. I completely agree. I also am now reframing my experience this time, and I think it has a lot to do with the score. I think the score kind of the score undercuts the stakes of this movie. I think that if we had gotten more of and I think there's an argument that this movie kind of supports that the most important thing about these movies is the John Carpenter scores. That like that's kind of what gives them their
Mm-hmm.
character in some ways. Because this score is not like a lot of other scores from a lot of other horror movies. There's something very unique about it, obviously. And I feel like this one is missing that weight. And I think the weight comes from the music. And pairing that music with Michael is even in the movies where his mask is awful and the plot is stupid, there's a weight to his slow walking, the build of everything, the tension. This doesn't have any of that. And I think that that's my major gripe. That I don't think I would have realized that if you hadn't brought up that comment, Matt.
Cool.
Does anyone have any final likes or gripe thoughts?
I don't think so.
Cool. Let's get into brain.
Tasty, tasty.
Matt, I know that you always bring some excellent questions to the conversation, so bring more.
Right at the top of the movie, a person breaks into a medical provider's home and steals a wealth of records. Do medical providers keep a wealth of records in their home?
Great question.
So, this is a great question because I feel like this happens all the time in movies. It's either like they go to some old hospital and they go to the basement and that's where all of the records are and they're like rifling through boxes, or they're in people's homes. So
Split.
I think
she falls asleep with them on the bed.
Yeah. I think it depends. So like there definitely are providers out there who meet with clients in their homes, and they have like, a home office where like clients will meet them in. In terms of HIPAA, so like the things to keep in mind when it comes to therapy notes or like records of any kind is maintaining like personal health information so that it's not, becoming exposed inadvertently because of HIPAA laws, which I always forget what it stands for. It's the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So the whole idea is that like, medical professionals, mental health professionals, anybody that's dealing with your sensitive health information need to like, abide by certain rules so that your health information is not inadvertently, again, like exposed in any kind of way. So the ways that you can minimize the risk of it being exposed is even if you kept at home records, it has to be in some kind of lockable thing. At the very least, it is required that if you are keeping any kind of physical records, they have to be behind a lock. It can't just be open access for anybody, whether that's like the door of the room that they're in locks and you're locking it behind you, or the cabinet that you're putting them in locks and you're locking it before you leave. It just has to be within some container that is lockable. So that's with regard to like physical notes. And obviously like with technology and things like that, it has continued to evolve where, HIPAA compliance has to be integrated within all of the systems that you're using and things like that. So the lock could be like having a physical password that's hard to guess so that people aren't accessing it, or making sure that you're not like accidentally emailing the wrong people. There's loads of HIPAA compliant email platforms that you can use, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like going down a rabbit hole of HIPAA, but yes, some people might keep records in their homes as long as it's under lock and key, then that is okay. So they shouldn't have walked into this person's house and rifled through all of their shit.
No locks are keeping Michael Myers back, It's just not happening.
Nope.
Another question I have is that if Laurie Strode was afraid of being physically attacked, I think that she would want to have her like wits about her as much as she could. Would she be drinking so heavily on the day where she fears being attacked most?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is similar to like what I was speaking on before about like, even though even though like her hypervigilance is probably so high on Halloween that she's looking for ways to cope with like the intense like physical panic symptoms that she's probably experiencing, and like doing what she can to like reduce it. But also, like you mentioned, like how much at risk is she potentially putting herself in? I don't It's hard to say whether or not she genuinely thinks that it will happen again after all of this time. I think it's like, you know, I view it similar to that idea of like anniversaries of things can be really like triggering for people. And so like every Halloween, it's going to be deeply upsetting to her and like bring up all of this stuff. And so she might also be carrying it throughout the year, but like on the anniversary, it's going to be even more heightened. Yeah. So it's hard to say whether or not she like genuinely thinks that something is going to happen to her. I think sometimes she does, but I also think it's just like just this lingering high panic that she's going to always feel on that day, and like is trying to figure out ways to just get through it.
So maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
So maybe. She really chugged that
She
Chardonnay.
did. The judgy server's
He also
face.
peed a lot. I know, but he also like took a long time in the bathroom. Wow. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, my last one is a direct quote from Laurie Strode, which is, "Do you think it's possible that something so tragic can happen to somebody that they never recover from it?"
Ooh. This is a good question.
Yeah, good question, Laurie. She asks her guidance counselor boyfriend.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then she goes, and then what college should I go to?
Yeah. So I feel like, again, the impact that trauma could have on someone like really runs the gamut. I think that it depends what ways that someone is like managing that, whether they have a support system, are they in therapy, like maybe they're taking medication. Like I think that there are things that you can do. Nothing is going to fully like ever go away. Like nobody can promise that. I feel like that would be very misleading and potentially harmful to say like, oh, if you do this thing, you'll never have to think like the impact of the trauma will like poof disappear and like you're fine. Like that's not realistic. I think that the ways in which like we can figure out how to cope and move forward vary, and the impact of those coping skills can also vary. I think some moments can feel a little bit more manageable than others, but it's probably always going to fluctuate. Like progress isn't linear, so some days are going to feel way harder to cope with than others. But yeah, if you're like leaning on your people and you're accessing resources, I think it can definitely make some of those like symptoms a little bit less impactful, and you know, find pockets of time where it's like, okay, like today's a good day, or like, you know, the last like couple hours of my day have actually been fine. And being able to like find those pockets as opposed to like it all just fully, you know, derails everything and like you can never come back from that. Like I think it really depends on like how people are, you know, navigating the present and future with whatever skills and tools and people that they have. And yeah, that there's no like magic fix.
Interesting. So what I hear is don't fake your death and then lose your community.
Good advice.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Like she has a kid, but also like, you know, that also can't be her only community, because then there's like some weird familial dynamics there where like he's still her child, so he can't be her like only support system.
Yeah.
So it's like I hope that there's other people in her life that are also supportive, even though she does have like, you know, that family connection.
Yeah.
They do have a weird relationship, right? The
Yes.
two of them, like maybe a weirdly like I don't know, reversed, or like he talks to her like she is his child sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, and a dynamic that would be in another movie they would have
Yeah.
explored.
I mean, it's also a
Mhm.
symptom of like of the time, in that it's that Dawson's Creek thing where like young protagonists speak in language that people, even like highly educated people, don't use, just like big words for big words' sake.
Yes.
And things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, and then like Michelle Williams being in this is just like
exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I mean, Steve Miner, the director, directed some episodes of Dawson's Creek, which Kevin Williamson wrote.
Oh,
so.
yes. And
Yeah.
But that is Kevin's baby.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, Baby Bangs. That's his Baby Bangs. Should we do Rotten Tomatoes? Rotten Tomatoes?
Yes.
Rotten Tomatin.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
What do you think Halloween H20 has on Rotten Tomatoes? Jamie, why don't you go first?
42.
All right.
I think that's even high.
I was really like moving between the 20s and 40s.
I'm gonna go.
Decided to...
I'll go 10 less. 32.
Okay, it is 54%.
Wow.
Still rotten, but 54. Critics can. Oh, and the popcorn meter, aka the
People's Choice.
The People's Choice is 50%.
Okay, so pretty close.
And yeah, critics' consensus is Halloween H20 is the best of the many sequels, yet still pales in comparison to the original Halloween. Yeah. I don't know if it's the best one, but it definitely... I mean, the first one's the best.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think this has on Letterboxd?
I intentionally did not
Matt,
log
you go
this
first.
on Letterboxd, so I did not
Oh,
see
smart.
it accidentally. I bet it... Letterboxd tends to be meaner. So I am gonna go with a 2.5.
Jamie?
Oh wait, no, that's half. I'm gonna go
2. Oh.
Not 2.5.
You're gonna go
Right.
2.
2.5 is half, right?
Okay.
It's 5 stars. Yeah, lower.
Uh-huh.
2. Sorry, Jamie, to step on that.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say 2.7.
It's a 2.8.
Ooh.
And the most popular reviews are, of course, my favorite things. Shout out to Josh Hartnett for managing to be the worst thing in a Halloween sequel that ends on a Creed song.
I do have a note in my notes that says, what in the Creed?
At number 2, I am convinced Michael Myers secretly jogs when he's chasing someone and only walks slowly when people see him so he can look cool. The narcissistic bitch.
That's funny.
And then the number 1 review is just add water.
I don't get it.
And then Brie Hart's Horror is a friend of the pod. She has 2 reviews on this. One is, let's take a minute to discuss Michael's lonesome road trip from Illinois to California. Did he stop for snacks, pump gas, play a radio station? And then she also says, I think it's really nice how Michael didn't kill that woman and her child. He just carjacked them instead. He is so kind.
That's really good.
That's great.
Cool. Fantastic. Should we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Yes.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
The 4 S's are skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. Skulls is how well this movie handles mental health and human behavior. Scares is how scary was it? And shakes is, will you remember this one? Is this a one and done? So let's start with, and then we'll do suggestions a little bit later. Jamie, why don't you begin?
Sure. For skulls, I'm giving this a 5, which might be too high, but I think that there's like some representations of PTSD in here, but mostly it's a lot of dummies doing dumb people stuff. For scares, I'm giving this a 1. I think on this rewatch, the thing that scares me the most is having a son that doesn't listen to me. And for shakes, I gave it a 3.5. This definitely is not like the most, in my opinion, memorable of these movies, but I do think a lot of that has to do with like nostalgia and like those established connections that we might have to this franchise and like the specific films. So that's where it falls for me.
Cool. Matt, what about you?
For Skulls, I gave it a 6. Mainly because they try to address some of the like trauma and issues that Jamie Lee Curtis have. Whether they are successful in that or not, who can say? But the attempt gets a few extra points from me. Scares, I also gave it a 1. I don't think this movie is scary at all. There aren't even any effective jump scares.
No.
Like, it's...
The closest is the second guy falling out of the closet.
Yeah.
Really.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And for shakes, I gave it a 7, purely because I love this movie and I know what 4, 5, and 6 are roughly about, but I can tell you what this one is about all day.
Sure.
So like, it is a little bit my love and nostalgia for it, and the impression that it left. I also think it's just like really fun and hokey and a good time.
I did a 4 for Skulls. I did also a 1 for Scares, and I give it a 6 for Shakes. Just because I don't know, this one feels like this one, like if you're talking about the Halloween franchise, like the timeline is named for this. Like this was a big deal movie, but like I don't know, I'm not gonna watch it again anytime soon. Probably. I would rewatch 4, 5, and 6 before I rewatch this one and Resurrection for sure. I've also never seen the Rob Zombie one, so I want to watch those at some point.
Oh yeah, different animal.
Sure. Cool. Should we do some suggestions? Jamie, I know you talked about yours already. Do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, that was my only suggestion. Was Halloween 2018.
Cool. My suggestion is my suggestion I spoiled is Psycho 2. Just in terms of legacy sequels that are actually kind of good, surprisingly. Matt, what about you?
My suggestions are Scream and Scream 2, so that you can understand the back and forth between this movie, that movie, the original Halloween.
Cool.
And listen to the soundtrack closely before you watch this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly about, you only picked that for the
totally.
Soundtrack. Great. Well, that brings us to the end of our Halloween episode.
I have one fact before we go.
Oh yeah, please.
There was a bonus feature on my DVD from the early, probably when this came out, late 90s, early 2000s. And we watched it after we watched the movie. And there was like a trivia option. And so we played the trivia game. And one of the trivia questions that I got wrong was, including this movie, How many people has Michael Myers killed? There were options, but I didn't write them all down. I just have the answer in front of me, so just guess.
So we said 6 in this one. 6 that I can remember. He's not in 3. 1 is like he kills the guy, the girlfriend.
I'm just gonna say 60.
I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna say 21.
Jimmy, you are way closer. 71, including this movie.
Dang.
Damn,
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a
He's
high
busy.
body count, and that's not including. That's stopping at this
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah, like that's this one and
Mhm.
before. Interesting.
Hmm.
Cool.
Woo.
Woo.
We did it. Oh, did you watch it with friends? Did they like this movie?
Oh, we didn't watch it with friends. They went to see Book of Mormon.
Oh.
They had a very different night than we did.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us again, Matt. Remind everyone where they can find you on social media.
Mostly I'm on Instagram, which is at HallowWoods, Hallow like Halloween and woods like trees. And my website is either hallowwoods.com or matthewwoodsart.com.
Cool. That's all those links will be in the description of this episode. You can find us wherever you get your social media, and by that I mean really just Instagram and TikTok at Talk Horror Pod. You can also get us wherever you get podcasts, like YouTube. Hi, YouTube. In addition to like things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And thank
And
you.
thank you.
Get a haircut.
Ooh, I got a quote. I got a quote.
Get a haircut.
By
Oh,
him.
yeah, please.
So when asked why he doesn't celebrate Halloween, he says, "Oh, we've got a psychotic serial killer in the family that loves to butcher people on Halloween, so I found it in bad taste."
Is that going to be your
My review?
Now when you log
Yes,
in on
it
Letterboxd,
is.
is that going to be the quote? Yeah, hell yeah, I love that. Everyone, I hope you're having an amazing Halloween. Stay safe, be creepy, and Halloween does not have to just be today. Halloween can absolutely be all year.
Hell yeah.
So, Matt, thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
And
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Halloween.
Woo.
Bye. Should I play the Scream soundtrack
Perfect.
now,
Yeah,
or
totally.
no?